Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my bookshelf. I'm going to share some recent reads with you today. First book I'm going to talk about real quickly is Still Life by Louise Penny. I don't actually have the physical book with me. I'll put a picture up here somewhere. I ended up reading about 50 pages of it and then handed it off to my mom. She likes cozy mysteries. I have learned cozy mysteries are not my thing, but somebody had recommended this book to me, so I thought I'd give it a try. It kind of reminded me of Agatha Christie and I think it's Poirot, the Inspector Poirot. I just felt like, I don't know, I really couldn't get into it and it felt like I'd already read this book. So it wasn't my jam. I'm not against cozy mysteries, but I was trying to just kind of read outside of my comfort zone for a change, but it was not my thing. I ended up giving it 1 star on Goodreads after 50 pages. And like I said, handed it off to my mom. I don't know if she's read it or not yet, but I think it's something she's probably going to like. Okay, that was a cat. The next book I read was Then She Was Gone. All right, this is a hard copy book I got. Lisa Jewell. I picked this up at Hello Again Books over in Cocoa Village, Florida. And it was just sitting on a table as a display, and I looked at the back and I thought, that's interesting. It again is something that's not completely in my typical range, but it's a woman who loses her daughter. Her daughter actually disappears, and then many years later, she comes upon a girl who looks very similar to her, and the woman has been struggling over, I think it's about a 10-year range, when she loses her daughter and then finds the other girl. So she's always been struggling. It breaks up her family and all this sort of thing. So it's really it's a contemporary women's fiction slash thriller slash mystery. I ended up giving it 3 stars on Goodreads. It definitely was a page turner. It wasn't overly surprising. I did kind of start to figure out what was happening, but I thought it was a good book to read. It was very interesting. She uses a lot of different points of view. If you want a detailed review of what I thought of it, definitely follow me over on Goodreads. I do always write a fairly detailed list of pros and cons each time I read a book, and I post it over there. So, but quick and dirty, if you like mystery thrillers and you like women's fiction mystery thrillers, you probably would like this book. Another book I've been wanting to read for quite some time is The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. Let's see, the author is Kim Michelle Richardson. I had never read anything from her before. I ended up giving it 4 stars on Goodreads. If you like women's fiction and you like historical women's fiction, I would recommend this. I really did like the historical aspects of this. I guess my only beef was I felt sometimes she got a little carried away with discussing the entire life stories of a lot of peripheral characters. And while she did manage to bring many of them back into the main plot near the end of the book, I got a little frustrated sometimes. Like, could we get back to the main person? Why are we talking about this guy and everything about him? I really want to get back to her. So that was I think my main beef about this, but very good read. Another recent read is Kay Gibbons' The Virtuous Woman. I have read some of her work previously. I believe I want to say the novel I read was Ellen Foster, which I really loved. That was many years ago I read that. This has been sitting in my bookshelf forever, and I was going through books in my school office, clearing stuff out and deciding, like, either I'm going to read this pretty soon, or if I've already read it, do I want to keep it or not? And I realized, this is super short. I just got to get this banged out, and I did. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really did like it. It is an emotional read, so does not have a happy ending, but really early on you realize that at the beginning of this. But it's a very interesting point of view that flips back and forth from the husband to the wife, and you learn their life stories. I would say one thing I struggled with is kind of like, what's the main point of this? I felt like the plot wasn't as solid as it could be. Oh, correct that. I actually gave it 3 out of 5 stars now that I say that. I had to look that up. But Kay Gibbons is a very talented writer. She has many wonderful novels out, and I do plan to read more of her work. Finally, of course, I had to read some more Colleen Hoover. A lot of people have been suggesting I read this book, Verity. Holy guacamole. Yeah, I actually thought about doing just a review of this as a single video, but I did write quite a detailed review again on Goodreads. So if you want to read that, head over there and look me up. But wowie kopowie. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Unfortunately, it's a wonderful book, massive page turner. I mean, Verity is like this horrible, horrible character. She's a horrible person. She does horrible things. But you just can't keep, it's kind of like a train wreck. You keep wanting to read it for some reason. But I felt the ending I was very disappointed in the ending. I felt like the ending fell apart. The plot ended up just not making sense then. I didn't buy it, what she was selling at the end there. All this stuff happens, and then there's this supposed, I guess, explanation for why it happens, and I just didn't buy into it. But I will say it was a very compelling read. If you're a Colleen Hoover person, this is something you definitely want to read. It is not a love story. It is more of a mystery thriller, kind of scary at times, novel. All right, guys, that's what I've read recently. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books and your opinion about them. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by to see what's on my bookshelf. Bye-bye.